used to think routines had to look like this: wake up at 5 a.m., meditate, journal, green juice, and then proceed a 12-hour workday in order for me to be successful. Spoiler alert, I never actually did any of those things. I did finally realize it's not about copying someone else's routine. It's about finding a routine that makes sense for my life. And that's what this video is about: figuring out what routine works best for you. I truly used to think routines were about perfection. I don't know why I thought about it like that, but for some reason, when I heard the word routine, that's what I thought it was. So when you hear the word routine, what do you think of? Now, I like to think of a routine as a rough draft, something that is not set in stone and that I can edit and revise as I go. To me, I find structure to be good, but I also know life is unpredictable. So with my mindset shift to a routine being like a rough draft, it gives me that flexibility, that permission to say, let me move this around, switch this around. That's okay. But if strict, unchanging routines are working for you and that's something that you need in your life and you like, then do it. That's the point. You have to figure out what works best for your life. When I thought about having a perfect routine, I thought I had to copy someone else's. I watched videos, listened to podcasts, read blog posts. If you've actually watched videos, listened to podcasts, read blog posts about routines, what is one major similarity that you see across the board from a lot of these routines that you've looked at? For me, when I came across these routines, a lot of it was geared towards waking up early. Not like 6 a.m. early. I'm talking like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. early. In my mind, I really thought I had to wake up that early to be successful and get my day started, but I never actually ended up doing it because waking up that early for me just doesn't work, because I realized I like to stay up sometimes till 1 or 2, and waking up at 3 or 4 is just not gonna cut it. So I tried a ton of different methods to stay organized for my routines. These didn't work for me, but they might work for you. I tried the hour by hour schedule. Remember when you were in school and you had your whole day scheduled out? Something like that. So I would have when I woke up to when I went to bed, and everything in between filled out. If I had an extra time or something went into another time, it threw me off, then I had to push it all forward. And it was just a little too rigid for me. And it was so hard for me to stay on time because sometimes I was like, I don't want to eat at noon. I want to eat at 1 or 2. So that really didn't give me the flexibility to be comfortable in my routine. For me, trying a completely rigid routine, I swung the pendulum completely the other way and tried something completely loose, which was bullet points. I just would, in the morning or the evening, I would bullet point what I needed to do for business or personal, and then I would complete these tasks. Spoiler alert, I did not complete all these tasks because I just listed everything out that needed to be done. I didn't prioritize what needed to be done. And of course, if you have bullet points of lists, you're going to pick the things that are least painful to do and not the things that you need to do. Then I tried something in the middle. I tried time blocking. I would block out my morning breakfast, then my morning work, and then I would do my lunch and then my afternoon work. And this worked pretty well, but still life does happen and your blocks do have to move. So sometimes I would just shift things around or add things in, and that was okay for a little bit, but I didn't stick to it. I also tried, instead of having it online, I tried having one of those fancy planners where I actually take the ruler and do my monthly layout, then I do my weekly layout and do it. But I ended up spending more time designing the planner than actually using the planner. Now, I also tried the Panda productivity planner, and that was actually pretty cool. I learned a lot from it. I used it maybe for only about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because it was a little too rigid. I couldn't really move things around on it because it was set in stone on the pages on what the company put on it. I wanted a little bit more flexibility. So there's also a ton of productivity apps out there that you can use, and I tried quite a bit of them. I tried Monday, I tried Asana, Trello, Toodle-Do, ClickUp, but they just didn't stick for me. So why did these not work for me? Well, I was trying to do what worked for someone else and not necessarily making it fit or tweaking it to what worked for my life. And I realized for me, I actually like to keep it pretty simple. I like to be able to access it on all my devices, and I don't want a ton of different apps to open up. Just as a reminder, you actually really don't need all these apps, of course, unless they work for you and it's something that would be beneficial. Once I start having a team and hiring people for my business, I do think some of these apps could be very beneficial because I can bring team members on. But since it's just me now, I don't need all that extra stuff. If any of these methods that I talked about sparked any interest, or you thought, I should really try this, this could work for me, you should try it. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. That's the point. You need to figure out what works best for you. Now let me share with you what is actually working for me. When it comes to waking up, I don't have a strict schedule. I don't say I need to wake up at 6 a.m. I like to wake up naturally between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Now it all depends on when I go to bed. Sometimes I like to stay up late past midnight and stay up till 1 or 2. Then I sleep in a little bit. But if I go to bed early, then I wake up early. I keep it flexible. To schedule everyday appointments or things that I know that need to be done at a certain time, I put into Google Calendar. And for my day-to-day tasks or to-dos, I use Google Tasks. It keeps it really simple for me because I can access it on my phone, I can access it on a computer. No need to carry around notebooks or upload apps or log into places. I'm already logged in on my devices. And the reason I like Google Calendar is because I can create different calendars and color code it. So I have a personal calendar, work calendar, birthday calendar, bills calendar. And if I want to add another calendar, I can, or if I want to change a calendar, I can. But I can clearly see on my calendar when I put something in it, what it's for. And for Google Tasks, it can also load into the calendar because it lets you mark it as done and it takes it away. There's something in my mind that I like to check things off. And that's why I was always drawn to paper, but I find it so much easier now just to do it on my phone or on the computer because I have it there. So if I think of something or I know I need to do something, I can put it in. So I have different task sections. One is my work section where I just put all work tasks that need to be done. Maybe not necessarily a deadline on all, but just tasks I know that need to be done or come to mind. Then I have a shopping tasks. So anything I think of, oh, I need carrots, or oh, I need to go to Walmart for this, I put it in my shopping section. I have a personal section. So if I say, oh, I'm going to clean X, Y, and Z, or oh, I saw this needs to be done, I put it in my personal tasks. Then I have a task for 3 daily non-negotiables. And this is every evening I sit down and think about what I need to do the next day in order to get me closer to reaching my goals that I've set. So for example, on my non-negotiables today is recording this video. Then I have to edit a previous video I recorded that needs to be published tomorrow. And then I also want to cut a couple clips from the video to share it to YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Today, that is my non-negotiables because those 3 things is what's going to help me grow my channel. And that's the goal. Of course, I need to change the banner. I need to change the description. I want to learn more about editing. There's so many things that I would like to work on, but these are other work tasks that I can work on once the non-negotiables are done. And that's why they go in the work task section, not the non-negotiables. The nice thing about using the Google Calendar and Google Tasks for me is the flexibility. I don't have to have this rigid schedule. It keeps it, like I said, like a rough draft. I'm able to fix it, move things around based on what works for me and what happens in life. Then I also at the same time have the tasks so I know what needs to be done without me having to put it directly on the schedule. I just know it needs to be done that day at some point. So I get it done. And in my routine, I also started journaling. And I actually am between Google Docs still in Notion. But what I do is I don't just journal, oh, ate today, worked out today, recorded a video. I actually reflect on the day, on what I did, what I learned, how I felt, what struggles I had, what I overcame. This way I can track what I'm doing and getting better at. Previously, when I was journaling, I had a little journal that I would carry around. Well, I didn't actually carry it around. I tried to, but it didn't work. And I never really actually wrote down goals. It was more so, this is what I'm feeling. I felt like it was more like a venting journal. And I didn't find that productive. I want to be able to refer back to something and say, oh my God, this was a breakthrough right here. Or I really struggled with this. Or I was really, really freaking happy. And this is why. I really enjoy looking at it and seeing where I've come. And it also helps me be better. I realize that I don't need to follow other people's routines. I need to figure out what routine works best for me. If you're trying to rework your routine and figure out what actually works for you, grab a pen and paper or grab your notes on your phone. I'm going to ask you a couple questions for you to reflect on so you can create a routine that works for you. All right, so ask yourself, does my current routine reflect my actual goals? Would my future me be thanking me for this routine or be begging me to switch it up? Where in my day am I feeling most drained? And why am I still doing it? Am I chasing a productive or perfect routine that impresses people or looks good? Or are you actually doing a routine that fits you. So if you've kind of figured out a routine that works for you, ask yourself, if I did this routine for the next 90 days, where will it take me? Now, don't worry about perfect answers. This is just for you to reflect on. And if right now your answer is I don't know, then it's I don't know. Here are some key takeaways for you to remember when you are creating a routine or thinking about a routine. Routines can change. They're not set in stone. You're not lazy or unproductive if you don't have a strict schedule or routine you follow. You're not failing if you change your mind. And the best routines are the ones that actually work for you and that you stick with. If this video hit home, drop a like and share it with someone who could use it too. And make sure you subscribe for more reselling tips, mindset shifts, and real talk vlogs where we're just figuring things out together. You know what's really weird? Your hands. What do you do with them? When I talk on camera, I like to talk with my hands, so I don't know if I'm talking too much or it just feels normal, because I do like to talk with my hands. But then, switch it in reverse. If you're standing outside in line and waiting for something and you have nothing in your hand, do you just stand with your hand to the side? It's so awkward. How do you stand? I just feel so weird sometimes doing it. Do you put your hands in your pocket? Do you fold your arms? Act like you have something in your hand? Look at your phone?